What's good, y'all? It's Big Jib, the rawest, most unfiltered voice on earth. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's rock. Let's. Is hip hop dead? Like seriously, is hip hop as we know it a dead genre? Okay, I did some research recently. Okay, I did a little bit of research. I'm not big into all the analytics and all the numbers, but I did some research looking at the Billboard Top 100. Uh, a Billboard that's routinely, okay, that's notoriously been dominated by hip hop for the past 15, 20, 25 years. I've noticed that it's no longer dominated by the hip hop genre. Okay, now granted, right now it is December 29th. It's December 29th, 1:23 Eastern Time, 12:23 Central Time. So right now, the Billboard Top 100 is going to be dominated by the Mariah Careys, the All I Want for You tunes of the world, all the not Jingle Bell tunes. Okay, all the Jingle Bell tunes are dominating the billboards, which is always expected in December. Okay, I mean you can't. I can't walk into a random mall without hearing "All I Want From You." Okay, Mariah Carey, you can't escape that voice come this time of the year. Okay, it's just you know what I'm saying. It's just some things you can't escape, and taxes is one of them. Death is another thing. And Mariah Carey in December is just one of those other things that you just can't escape in life. All right, but I did some research. Okay, I went all the way to November 29th, which is, the closest Billboard chart we have that's not really Christmas related. Okay, it's not really Christmas related. And I did some research, and it was brought up to me that in the top 25 songs of the Billboard Top 100, there were zero tracks hip hop related. Okay, there was zero hip hop tracks related in the top 25 um Billboard. Okay, now granted, Pooh Shiesty did drop that FDO that first day out. I want to say about 3 weeks ago. That reached the top 25 in December. So I mean that's like the only hip hop mainstream song that we really have busting in all um in a mainstream market where it's hitting, every single demographic. Okay, shout out to Pooh Shiesty for doing this thing, coming out and making one of the hardest first day out tracks we've heard ever. Okay, that first day out by Shiesty is up there with T Grizzly's first day out. Okay, it's up there with Gucci's first day out back in God knows when. So, that's really what's going on. So I really thought about it, and I was like, damn, is hip hop really dying? Okay, artists are complaining about the lack of promo, okay, the lack of sales, the lack of attention that's given to them right now. I mean, a lot of artists are really struggling to make poppin' music. Okay, it's really a thing. So my thing is this: do I think hip hop is dead? No, I don't think hip hop is dead. Just off the simple fact, Young Boy just had one of the highest selling tour of all time. Okay, Young Boy just did that in the year of 2025. Okay, Cardi sold 300K this year. Okay, Drake and P&D, some sexy songs for you, did 250K this year. Granted, that was an R&B album, but I mean, you're still talking about an album with a hip hop demographic when we're talking about Drake. Kendrick sold like 300 last year. Okay, late 2024. Hip hop is not dead. Well, I think the biggest issue right now when it comes to the hip hop landscape is, I think cancel culture is putting a dent in hip hop as a whole. Okay, I think cancel culture has uh, made it harder, made it more difficult for artists to thrive as they usually do. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 24, so throughout my entire life, hip hop has been the main genre in the mainstream. Everywhere you go. Okay, everywhere you go, whether you talking to them, where you at a mall, okay, whether you driving to work, to school, you know what I'm saying, whether it's a school jamboree, you know what I mean, like hip hop was found everywhere. Everybody was playing hip hop from me to you to the great grandfathers and grandmothers. Everybody was blasting hip hop, but it's been still, especially for the past 2 years. I would say basically since the beef, the feud between Kendrick and Drake, with that being one of the greatest hip hop battles ever. You know, regardless of what you of how you think it ended, and who you think won, and this and the third, it was one of the most mainstream hip hop battles we'll ever see, that we'll ever witness. But with that beef and the tea, okay, the I'ma try to expose you whether I have proof or not, did plenty of harm. Did as much harm as it did good for the mainstream of hip hop at the moment. So my thing is, you got you got K Dot saying Drake is a PDF file with no proof. Okay. You have Drizzy saying that Kendrick beats his fiance with no proof. All this did a lot of damage, and with social media and with how social media is and how woke social media is these days, it was a bad combination. And all the cancel culture stuff, and we're gonna cancel this for that, and we're gonna cancel this person for this, regardless of we have proof or not. We just don't like this person. We're gonna cancel. I think it's done a lot of harm to the genre itself. Okay, I think that was a big reason why a lot of artists can't really were afraid to drop anything in 2024. Is certain messages. You know, listen, my thing about hip hop is, and for the past 2 years, ever since it beat, people try to make hip hop to something that it is. Okay, you have all these woke people on social media, all these woke personalities talking about, oh, we're here for morals, we here for principle, we here for respect and honor. And like, this ain't the fucking military. Listen, at the end of the day, this is not church. Okay, hip hop is about violence. Okay, it's about disrespecting disrespecting people. Okay, it's about disrespecting the dad. Okay, it's about pimping. It's about all this. Okay, like, and the fact that people are trying to, about the past two years, been trying to make hip hop a woke spot, I think is ruined. Not ruined, but like I said, it's put a dent in hip hop as we know it for now. And like I said, I think Young Boy doing his thing as a gangster artist, having the highest selling tour, has been good for hip hop. I think Pooh Shiesty coming home and putting the latest first day out that we heard since T Grizzly is good for hip hop. Hip hop has to get back into his natural climate. It has to get back into his natural nature. Hip hop is not about wokeness and who can we find to expose this so we can cancel them. That's kind of the state that hip hop has been in the past half of the year, due to the beef, in my opinion, due to the feud between Drake and Kendrick. So, the more we get away from that feud, and get away from the wokeness that's going on. Okay, and it's not even just that. You got the Megan Thee Stallions of the world with Tory Lanez. I don't think that's been good for hip hop. Okay, um, it's just been it hasn't been a good state of hip hop, but I do see things heading back into the right direction. Like I said, Cardi sold 300K this year with music. Okay, that was good for hip hop. I don't think hip hop is dead. I don't think hip hop is going extinct. Yeah, is the billboards being dominated by the country artists of the world, like the Morgan Wallens and Luke Bryans, okay, the Taylor Swifts of the world, the Sabrina Carpenters, yeah, they dominate the billboards. Hip hop is not as mainstream as it's been in the past 10, 15 years at the moment. Okay, it's not. But I see what's going on. Okay, I see some of the younger artists doing their thing, and Young Boy and Pooh Shiesty. And this is another thing. I know some people are saying hip hop is lacking stars, especially new stars. I don't think they're lacking stars. Hip hop is not lacking stars. Like I said, I just told you, Cardi sold 300K. Young Boy just had the highest selling tour in hip hop history. Freaking, you still got Travis Scott. You still got Future. You still have A plus stars in the genre. I don't think it's that. I think it's just we gotta get away from the cancel culture. Okay, that's going on in the hip hop community. Okay, we gotta get away from trying to find any way without proof to expose different artists that we don't like, and just get back to putting out club bangers. You know, that's why I respect what Pooh Shiesty did with his first day out. Just drop a 5-minute hit. Drop a 5-minute hit, and that's what Pooh Shiesty did. So, at the end of the day, man, I expect 2026 to be a good year for hip hop. I thought 2025 was a good year for hip hop, to be totally honest with you. Okay, from the music, from the artists that I listen to, a lot of them put out good music and shit. You know what I'm saying? You had Dave East drop Karma 4 is one of the best albums of the year. Okay, Benny the Butcher dropped his album. Okay, there was plenty of good music that went out. Okay, I just think the more and more we stay and stray away from the few that's been dominating the hip hop media for the past 2 years in Drizzy and Kendrick, the more we can get back to the regular show. Okay, and then from there on, we can possibly see more hip hop songs in these mainstream markets when we're talking about the top 100 billboards and all that. But that's all I really gotta say, y'all. I'm Big Jib, and I'm out.
Stashing up blue stash.